doona ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni du indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wérgu yaram. One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxool ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wérgu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génnee fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gat granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génnee lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sell te óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wérgu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal
and I am joined by my colleague Ansumana Eso Nyasi as usual. Eso, welcome to This Morning.
Good morning, Balde. Good morning to our viewers out there, and yeah, it's always good to be back.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the last program for this week. It's Thursday, and I guess we won't come back here till Monday, inshallah.
Yeah.
And we have very important things to do on this program today. Yeah. Let me take you through the program. We'll be having the African proverb and of course the newspaper review with our own Adit Rame. I miss a day, man. And of course we'll also have the community watch, security measures towards the election during and after. And we'll be having PRO Njai. I mean, PRO Njai is now very frequent on the media.
Yeah, I think it's
up and down. It's good that, you know, at least they're engaging the public on some of the things they're doing. And social issues. Yesterday we discussed about the Remembrance Day, and it's important for us to have the man himself, Ibu Jangha, who is 102, to join us in the studio and tell us his experience and the things that he's going through at the moment. And of course we'll also be having the entertainment segment, and today we won't be having Buba Fati, but Dels will be here. But first, we'll start with our African proverb, Mr. Ansumana Eso Nyasi.
Actually, our proverb today is a Gambian proverb, and most of us, I'm sure, are used to hearing this proverb. And it reads, if a donkey kicks you and you kick back, you're both donkeys.
Well, as crazy as the proverb seems, if a donkey kicks you and you kick back, I mean, you are both donkeys. Sulambam wehe, nga weha ko yen yep aimbam gen. Lolo, we've been hearing it. I mean, we use it all the time. Yes, ni adam fo albe mu follow len. What do you make of this?
Well, I think for me, it's like when someone does you evil, and then you do the same to the person, you're both equal. In other words, when someone does something bad to you, you know, you just you either do them good or you just ignore them. It's like when you have people criticizing you all over, you just focus on the positives.
Well, it's difficult sometimes. I mean, to balance this proverb will be a bit difficult because sometimes it depends on the situation. Yeah. There are certain people.
It could be interpreted in.
There are certain people you need to kick them. How do you kick them? And maybe you kick them in a different way.
This man again.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you have to kick other people in a different way. Either you kick them with kindness or you kick them with the leg that they kicked you with.
Well, it says if you kick back, you're both donkeys.
I will deny to be the donkey, but you can kick back. Mr. Ade, what do you think?
I have to totally disagree with you. And the reason the proverb exists is because they want to draw a distinction. The donkey is an animal, you are not. They're saying don't bring yourself down to that level. For the donkey, it's in its nature to kick. For us humans, it is not. So don't behave like that animal. You are a human being. You are meant to be a higher species. Elevate yourself. Be above descending to that level. That's what it's about.
Well, in our own context, I might not agree. I also disagree.
It's
totally.
not a human kicking you. It's a donkey. It's a donkey.
Well, it's talking about a donkey. But we all have we all know, it's not talking about, if a donkey kicks me, obviously I won't kick the donkey back. When it is a donkey, like donkey, I will not.
Because if it's donkey to donkey.
Donkey human being.
Donkey to
what about donkey human being?
That's what it's telling you. Donkey human being, the human being should not kick back. The human being should not bring themselves down to that level. That's what it's about.
So you have donkey and you have donkey.
Yeah, and donkey human being.
Donkey on donkey violence is fine.
Yes, I understand. It is trying to teach you how to react. I mean, there are certain situations you should not react. I mean, otherwise. I mean, you should handle it gently or professionally. Interesting. Well, viewers, interesting proverb here, and I hope we'll be having more of Gambian proverbs, which are very important. We all know proverb is it's part of our life. I mean, it's a thing that directs you. It teaches you a lot in life if you follow them. But positive proverbs, Mr. Ade?
Very much so. I mean, growing up, and anybody who grows up in Africa, we have a great tradition of storytelling. And in a lot of the stories, there are proverbs weaved into the story. And they're not just for, to take up space. They're there to teach us life lessons and wisdom. And so many times we pick up on these and we use them throughout our lives. And for that reason, they're very good. And that's why we have so many of these across every African country. You will find proverbs.
Serve as a source of motivation.
Important. Sure. Well, thank you very much, and interesting. And we'll be taking a short break. Remember, this program is officially sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers. So remember, it's Sunday. I mean, this Sunday we promise to go visit.
Yeah, we have a deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a dispenser.
Okay.
Well, and I learned that their dispensers are very good. Well, we'll be taking a short break. After the break, the newspaper review next. We'll be back.
You've got big decisions to make.
But this election, one decision is clear.
Who has the most experience?
Who brings the in-depth coverage?
Who brings you most relevant information?
Now is the time to watch your decision pay off.
Like non-stop coverage.
Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Your text messages and election alerts.
Decision 2021 only on QTV.
Comprehensive election coverage.
comprehensive election coverage. And you'll be joining us. Our team will be there to bring you all the things that you want to know. Gambian elections. We have professionals here. Mr. Ade will be there, and of course Mr. Mboj. Ansumana Esonyasi, our guy. Man, I like the thing you did on the nomination day. It was
Thank
nice.
you, man.
It was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
Welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde, and I'm joined by my colleague Ansumana Esonyasi, and we'll go straight to the newspaper review. Eso, take us through the headlines on the newspapers.
Yes, so on the standard newspaper, and on the front page, the biggest headline says government unravels Gam petroleum fuel scandal, says half of depots fuel unaccounted. Barrow warns Kande to stop inviting Jammeh to speak at rallies. Dabo tells Gambians to avoid selling votes. ICC may intervene if Gambia fails to try Jammeh. Papa Fall endorses Barrow. Court awards Nene Freda, orders $100,000 for unlawful arrest and detention. Judge threatens to free PS Banja unless SIS boss speaks on reforms. U.S. Gambian Association tells AG to address delay in court cases.
Okay, interesting. We'll take a look at the Fourier newspaper. Police investigating alleged gunpoint incident at Senegambia. And of course, Trade Minister assures uninterrupted supply of petroleum product. And GPDP unveil moderator for upcoming presidential debate. And of course, so that's what we have on the Fourier. So let's start with the Standard newspaper. Mr. Ade, once again, welcome to This Morning. It's always good to have you here.
Always good to be here, Mr. Amazing Host.
Exactly. Make sure don't forget to put the veteran. You always forget that title.
I always forget. I'm very forgetful.
Oh my God.
I'm very forgetful, Mr. Veteran Journalist.
Okay. Okay. Let's go straight. Government unravels Gam petroleum fuel scandal, and now they have put up a team to investigate this, and the Minister for Trade is part of this. What do you think of it?
It's quite serious, quite significant. Almost everybody was impacted by it, by the fuel shortage. I remember when I was driving to work, I was lucky. My own car was in the garage being fixed, but I was able to use a company car to get to and from work. And I remember driving, and you'd see people stranded by the wayside waiting for transport that was not going to come because of the shortage. And so because of that, there was a lot of interest. In fact, there'd been a lot of talk, why has there not been a statement? So finally, we had 3 ministers there, and a statement was given out explaining some of it was barely believable, hair-raising stuff. Yeah. And I think use of the word scandal probably comes close to it when you consider the magnitude of what we're talking about. You know, the IT systems that they were meant to be using, they weren't using. The software was not being used. They were still using Excel spreadsheets to monitor. They were still using pieces of paper to monitor which, supplier had been given petrol. It barely seems believable in 2021 that we should be talking about that. It's a scandal, yes. Because you cannot keep proper records when the software might be that because people felt they weren't trained in how to use it, or not confident enough how to use it, or there might be more sinister reasons people are saying that, because if you have to use it, it tracks everything, and you can't fiddle it. Whilst, Excel spreadsheet, you and you send it to me, I can manipulate the figures and change them.
Exactly.
So there must have been a reason. So there's a task force and there's an investigation.
We have a video, and we'd like to play this video. Yeah. We'll take a look at it and listen to it very careful, because there are important comments made on that video.
Indeed.
Let's play the video. We'll be back.
Gam Petroleum Management have not provided any credible documentary evidence to explain the shortage. And as a result, this prompted a visit to the depot in order to review the information in their IT systems, understand better the situation. It was found that the software acquired to manage the depot operation is not being used, and rather the depot operations were maintained on Excel file. Also, management did not have a single account for each trader or OMC, but transactions were maintained in Excel sheets according to vessels that deliver the fuel stock.
Welcome back from that video. And Mr. Ade, you've heard what the guy said on the video. It's like they could not provide
credible
information.
Documentary evidence.
Yes, I mean, in this era, Mr. Ade.
It gets worse than that. I mean, we can't play the whole 9-10 minutes, whatever it was, but he goes on to say that even when there are sort of transactions that had been taken, all the files weren't kept on a computer. They were actually kept on these spreadsheets in the general manager's office. So if the general manager wasn't available, then they couldn't get access to it. It was quite, I mean, what was said was quite shocking.
In fact, what strikes me is the fact that the software was acquired, you know, to have all of these things filed in. Unfortunately, they were not using it for whatever reason. And I mean, since it is under investigation, I mean, you would wait for the outcome of those investigations.
Let's see what will happen.
But this is really.
Well, I think it's high time for them to put up a proper structure to make sure that such things doesn't repeat after the investigation.
Yes, I mean, what this tells me is the one thing that I've been, somebody, you know, people might say I complain too much about it since I've been to the Gambia. Because if you wrote to them and said to them, if this had not happened, and you had written to GAM Petroleum, they would say, you say, do you have the software to manage? They would say yes. But then they don't ask them the question, are you using it? And that's where you would trip them up, because we now know they had the software and they were not using it. It's there for a purpose. Use it. We never follow things up. We have all these fancy, you know, we pass this law, we pass that law, we bring in certain regulations, but nobody enforces them, nobody makes sure they are being implemented, nobody monitors them, and that is where, so yes, they weren't using it, but the criticism does not lie only with them. The people who should have been monitoring them should have been monitoring them. They should not have waited for a crisis before taking action of this sort. You know, just leave it to them and hope that, no, you monitor and you be very, very strict with your monitoring.
Exactly. If a matter is being investigated, I mean, I think we better leave it for the investigators to decide.
Yes.
Yes. Let's take our next story. Dabo tells Gambians to avoid selling votes. Again. You see, I cannot still understand. How do you sell votes? I want to know.
I wish I knew how.
Because if I'm in the booth, I'm the only one there.
Look, you know, I'm sorry to say Gambians have this obsession around votes. When the people were registering, we heard all this noise about foreigners registering. They opened the courts, you know, where people could take their case if they felt, the revising courts, and said, if you wanted, not a single case, they opened and they closed for the duration, not a single case was brought. In fact, in spite of all the noise that we'd heard, how people were going to challenge all these foreigners who would be, it's rubbish. And I wish they would stop it, because it's just, you know, inflaming. It's a situation, they're creating something where there's nothing there. And I bet you nobody's selling votes. Selling votes how? As you said, you asked the question, how do you sell a vote? You know.
Well, because if I sell my vote to you, okay, Mr. Ede, give me 10,000. Let me give you my voter's card today. If you take my voter's card, you cannot use it to vote. Obviously, except maybe if I am to vote for a particular party and you deny me the voter's card, I didn't go and vote for the party.
Yes.
Maybe that way.
Well, people would have to have a lot of money for that to be done to make an impact. You're talking about billions of dollars for it to have an impact. It's a non-story for me.
So really. Are you selling your voter's card?
I wish I know how it's done. I've been asking the same question, actually. But that wasn't actually the only thing he said. He went on to also urge Gambians to fully take part in the elections process, and I think that's an important message. I think we've heard the same thing from Kande a few days ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
yes.
But really...
Yeah, I mean, you know, you hear these things, and I think sometimes when elections are tense and they're likely to be close, you start getting stories like this. In America, the last election, I mean, that was the highest turnout in 60 years. Yeah. And that's why Trump was shocked, because he got the highest votes ever of a losing candidate. You know, it's like, how could I get 70 million and still lose? It can happen. Well, because the other guy got 78 million or whatever, you know. So he was shocked, but the figures were unbelievable, because people felt it meant something. And I think we're getting the same in this election. People are going to turn out because, you know, just under 1 million people registered. It'll be interesting to see how many actually get up and vote. I've been quite shocked to have met a couple of people who don't even have voters card. I don't have one because I'm not eligible to vote. But if I did, I would have one and I would vote, because I think people should engage in elections, and it's not good enough to say I'm not interested in politics.
Exactly.
Politics is interested in you because it impacts everything you do, from the moment you sleep, wake up, go to work, come, whatever. Politics
Whether
will
you
impact.
like it or not, you are doing politics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about belonging to a party, you know, political party rather. It still has an impact, and you should care.
Exactly. Do you believe those that are going to vote, they don't come out on rallies? I mean, most people that have voters card are sitting at home.
Yeah, because, or they're at work. You know, not everybody has time to go to rallies. You know, the people who do, that's fine. But if I've got to go to work tomorrow, I'm not going to be at some rally singing, dancing 3, 4, 5 hours. Absolutely come home shattered, and my manager is asking me, why are you sleeping at work? I would go home and sleep at a sensible time and go to work. And on election day, I will go out and vote. So, you know, rallies are fine if you want to impress people with the crowds. Fine, which seems to be the thing, not just here, but in many African countries.
And you know, one of the reasons why we have rallies is it provides an opportunity, I mean, that platform for the electorate to hear from these aspirants.
It's
you
true.
know, get to interact with them on their policies and programs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but then again, you have another option. If you have the option to be able to go through the party or, I mean, candidates, their manifestos and all of that, I mean, if you're the working class, you may not have time to go to, you know, attend some of these rallies.
Well, as Esso rightly says, and we had this discussion this morning, in fact, we took so much time discussing it, we didn't even go into the office and sit down. Because we were talking about, you know, how many people have the time to read anybody's manifesto. And so these rallies, they work in place of manifesto. A candidate can get up and stand up and say, this is what this is what I believe in. But, you know, most people these days, they'll hear it on radio, they'll watch it online, they don't need to go and be there in person. And, you know, come polling day, they will go out and vote. But, yeah.
I agree. Okay, let's take a look at Barrow wants Kande to stop inviting Jammeh to speak at rallies. Recently, you know, we've had a lot of audios, I mean, from Jammeh.
I think the headline is slightly deceptive, because if you just read the headline and took it in isolation, you think, oh, he's trying to stop him. No, I think he's trying to stop him because he feels that he's inciting ethnic hatred in the country, and that's something we don't need. And so, yes, if you added that, the headline would be a bit long, but that's what it's about. He's saying that, you know, these audios that are being played at these rallies are inciting ethnic hatred, and Gambia doesn't need that.
Well, at the moment, I think what is important is something to reconcile us, not something that will divide us. And if it continues, I mean, it's going to be a big problem.
And you have to wonder what the ambition is by you know, targeting one ethnic group or another. What are you trying to achieve other than division and sow seeds of division and hatred?
And I think it's also good that, I mean, all these political party leaders are reminded of the fact that they all signed up to the IEC Code of Conduct. And you have to really avoid making certain comments or even giving a platform to anybody who would make comments that, you know, could incite violence.
And I'm glad you said that, because, you know, what the get out clause might be, well, I'm not the one making the statement, but if it's at your rally, it might as well be you making the statement. Why did you sign it then, saying no hate speech? Sign this convention with all the other aspirants, and then you allow hate speech to be played at your rally. It might as well be you saying the words. It doesn't matter that it's somebody else.
Exactly.
Again,
let's
on Jammeh again, before we move on. The ICC may intervene if Gambia fails to try Jammeh, and this is the special advisor to the chief prosecutor of the ICC. They are in Gambia as we speak.
They're in Gambia, yep.
They're with the Liberia National Bar Association president as well.
That's right.
And
Stephen Rapp.
For international human rights and international lawyers. Bold, big statement there.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Rapp was the chief prosecutor at the Sierra Leone, and he's one of the people who's here at the Sierra Leone court, international court. And these people came out with a statement. They said there will be no impunity, and that for anybody who has committed human rights violations in the Gambia. And it's interesting that they came at this time. I think they want to put it in the minds of everybody and anybody, and saying that there can be no impunity or immunity for people who have committed human rights violations, and they want that point to get home to everybody, not just to the aspirants but to the public as well.
Yeah, let's see how independent our courts are. Court awards Nene Freda and others 100,000 for unlawful arrest and detention.
Well, we've seen how independent our courts are for quite a while now.
Indeed.
It's not long ago that Yakumba Jaite was kicked out by the president as a nominated member. She took a case to court and she won it.
She won, yeah.
Had the courts not been independent, that case probably wouldn't even got to court. But not only did it get to court, her argument was heard, and she was allowed to remain.
This is in fact one of several cases that government has lost.
Yeah.
Since 2017, and I think it's a good thing for our democracy.
Absolutely.
And if anything, it shows that our judiciary is very much independent now.
And they need to keep that.
Yeah.
I think we need not be complacent about it and say, oh, it's independent, let's leave. It needs to be like this or better. And I think it's a good sign that these things are happening and that these sorts of decisions are being made.
Because in the past, I mean, you don't come across any such stories. And even in the case where government is taken to court, I mean, usually, it's either the case is thrown out or nothing comes out of it.
Or government wins.
Sometimes they don't even honor this. Judgment.
The judgment.
Exactly.
Sure.
Judge threatens to free PS Banja unless.
Unless what?
Unless.
I think you'd have to.
I think he is accused of a particular deal between him and this Chinese guy.
That's right.
So if the prosecutor is not able to
provide
an audio,
the audio
as
and
evidence,
and his interview with
this is going to be like he's going to free.
He's going to free.
It was provided actually.
Yeah.
It was provided. I think he said within the next 2 hours. So they had to stand down and they came back and it was provided.
Right. So so that might have been solved. So Banja might not be freed.
Exactly. So any other thing?
Well, police investigating alleged gunpoint incident in Senegambia on the Fourier.
Yeah, I mean, I always try and caution people because when they see a headline like that, people start getting worried.
Yeah.
Senegambia, obviously the kind of tourist area where people congregate, but it's one incident. And even one incident of somebody brandishing a gun is one too many. But let's not then pretend that it's happening every day or every minute or every hour. It's one incident. So
well, investigations. I don't seem to like talking about investigations all the time because there are many cases that have been under investigation and still now.
Yeah, well,
but I think we have PRO here, although he's not. The last time we invited Mboj here, and I told Mboj, look, some of these investigations, they'll just give us an impression they're investigating. At the end of the time, there'll be no result.
But I think I've said this on a different program. I can't remember which. I think part of the fault lies with us, the journalists. Because if I go to the police and I hear them say they're doing an investigation, it's my duty as a journalist to follow up, to see what has been the conclusion of that investigation.
What about if they tell you it's still under investigation?
Well, it might still be. Yeah. That could legitimately be true.
I understand Balde's frustration, and I know, especially the pace at which sometimes it takes time, really. But again, if you don't investigate these things, how do you get to know what really happened?
There's a phrase. They always say, when people push for something, they always push back at them and say, "Do you want it right, or do you want it right now?"
Right now.
There's a difference. You know, you either want them to get it right or you want something done right now. Something done right now might not be the right thing. So if it's under investigation, maybe legitimately it is still under investigation because it's complex and, you know, lots of strands have to be knitted together to come to a conclusion of that investigation. That would be quite legitimate. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Ade, for coming on this program.
Pleasure.
And I hope to have you here again next week.
Yes, and I won't hold it against you that none of you guys have mentioned the football, even though all the African teams that have qualified for the World Cup next round.
Oh, really? Are we having sports today?
We're not having sports today.
Sports. Then we'll talk about it on Monday.
Inshallah.
Yes, Mr. Ade, thank you very much for joining us on this morning. And of course, that was it for the newspaper review, and we'll take a short break. After the break, the Community Watch, and we have the police PRO here with us, and we'll be talking about security measures towards the elections, during and after elections. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
I am the light goddess. Everything I touch turns into light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q-Power. I am Q-Cell. I am Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
Welcome back from that short break, and of course, Q-Cell Sunubus, you know, Q-Power, Q-Money, you know, they are the best in the Gambia when it comes to mobile wallet. And this program is officially sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions, and we'll go straight to Community Watch. And we have the PRO of the Gambia Police Force with us, Mr. Njai, and we'll be discussing about security measures towards the election, during and after the elections. As you know, at the moment, we are going up and down, and many things are on the ground preparing for elections. And December 4th, we have few more days to go. Mr. Njai, welcome to this morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure, and thanks for having me here.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Well, I know it's been very busy, and you've been going up and down, and it's not easy. But, I mean, we are hoping everything will turn out to be positive.
Sure.
Yes. Can you take us through, as you know, elections are just at the corner, December 4th, and people are preparing. And when it comes to elections, we all know security is a very important thing. So what is Gambia Police Force doing to make sure we have proper security in place?
Very well. Thank you so much once again. The Gambia Police Force has done a very robust operational plan, election security operational plan. And this operational plan details before, during, and after the elections. And that is to say, the measures that the police will need to take before the election in preparation. In fact, the plan is so proactive such that it does not wait for issues to happen and then reaction is done, but instead there are several measures and steps that are to be taken to avert eventual situations from happening. And so that's why the beginning was such that a series of trainings were conducted for police officers across the country. more than 1,000 plus police officers had been benefited from over 40 different packages of trainings, ranging from election security itself to critical incident response, public order management, and other related courses. These are all geared towards ensuring that the mindset of officers are well prepared to be able to take up challenges or incidents that may arise during elections insofar as democratic principles are concerned. Because if you look at election processes, it's all about democracy. And so police officers that need to enforce the law during this democratic process also need to be democratically minded in terms of the way they handle incidents. And so that's why those trainings had happened. And then we go into the election itself, that is the operations that will be conducted during the course of the election itself to ensure that security is maintained. And so we started the election proper with the nomination. And you have seen at the nomination, during the nomination period, we have over close to 20 or over 20 candidates. They all were provided with adequate security personally, and also the IEC facility also was provided with adequate security as well. And also individuals that have to do work like journalists and others are also provided with the necessary security and environment to be able to do that. And more so, the movement of people around the area as well were also coordinated such that the place will be free enough to conduct these exercises within that period of time. And so this had really happened in a very professional way, and the officers were able to live up to expectations such that we have gone through the nomination and with little or no incident at all. And so now we've got into the campaign. The other step is proactively we are able to do provide security for all the political parties on the campaign trail. It is such that each of these political parties on the campaign trail are provided with a platoon of police intervention unit officers to ensure that whatever situation that might come pop up within their campaign trail, those officers can easily intervene and deal with that situation. But not only that, they are also constantly reporting and also monitoring and collecting intel, which is being shared with the command center here, so that we are knowing every candidate that is moving around, every incident that is happening, and we are taking them on board. This is to ensure that even if there is any situation of clash between two candidates, suppose they meet at a particular place, our officers will now coordinate how movement is going to happen, instead of their own people pushing and pulling, but the two police platoons that are deployed will coordinate the movement, and so it is not going to be any incident that will happen. So this is happening right now. The campaign is ongoing. Week 1 has come to an end sort of, and we have not got any major incident. It has happened in a very peaceful way. And we hope while we are in week 2 also, it's going to go like that to week 3 before the election proper itself.
I have to say that, I mean, the police did a commendable job throughout the nomination period. And I mean, I know that during election, like on election day, officers are deployed to all the polling stations. What's the strategy this year?
Very well. You know, that is, the campaign is another phase, and then the election day itself is another day. And so we have also put in place, right now we have mapped out all the polling stations across the country. In each region, how many polling stations we have. We've done these additions, and then we also have calculated how many officers they will need in terms of security on the polling day. And equally, we are working with regional commissioners. All our police regional commissioners across the country are working on their data and their deployment schedules and so on. In fact, their task is to ensure that the IEC staff and facility, plus also the individuals that are going to be voting on that day, their security is ensured. And so these are all issues that are currently ongoing as the campaign is. As we monitor the campaign, at the same time we are also preparing for the D-Day as well. And so on the D-Day, it's going to be as usual. registration was done. You've seen several points were identified for registration, and each of those registration centers were provided with security. Yeah. The same thing is going to happen on polling day. Every polling station will be provided with adequate security, right. And also at the end of the day, they will ensure that intelligence, incident reports, and so on are all coordinated and dealt with at the command center level as well.
Mm. Exactly. Let's talk about resources. Do you have enough resources? Because most of the time this becomes the problem. People, not only the police, but other sectors too. When you talk about it, they'll tell you we don't have enough resources. We believe that you people should have enough for the elections.
Well, we hope we have enough resources for the election, but the resource gaps exist everywhere at all times, in fact. You will realize that police operations are very expensive, especially nowadays, where we have to undertake several activities at the same time, and this all calls for resources. And so we know resource challenges will continue existing, but what we do is to ensure that whatever the available resources are, we make best use of them. And so that is why we are sure that the services will be provided, but the more resources we have also, the more of the quality the services will be.
Exactly. Interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, elections are very tense period, and I know you've explained in detail what the police is doing to ensure that everyone's security is guaranteed within this period and that we have a very smooth and peaceful elections. What is the message from the police ahead of December 4th?
Very well, you know, it's important that we get people to understand that they have a very crucial role when it comes to the election and also as far as security is concerned. Because we are talking about security, what the police is doing and all that, but also the police is policing people, and so people also need to understand that they have a vital role to ensure that the whole process goes through in a peaceful and hitch-free manner. And so that's why we want to call on the general public to support the security operations. Even though if you look at the political parties are all provided with security, but they are also going along with a lot of people. They are meeting crowds at different places. So we want to call on people to restrain their behaviors. When party politics is going on, when rallies are going on, people need to maintain decorum and ensure that they are not violent. And that makes the work of the security easy. And also let them respect the security on the ground. If they say don't go this way, don't go that way. If they say stay at this place, stay at that place. Don't say, why are you telling me I should not go to this place? Those things bring about some situations, and so we want to call on people to exercise that restraint and ensure that they abide by the regulations as the security puts them in place. It's all geared towards ensuring that they are able to manifest their political aspirations in a manner which is within the confines or parameters of peace and stability. But also, importantly, we want people to always not forget about their behaviors as well. Let's say, for example, we get concerned about the traffic as well. The manner and way people comport themselves in vehicles is very concerning. Of course, you are in a rally, which is mostly in a euphoric mood and all that stuff. You see people sit on the rooftop of vehicles or hang on the doors of the vehicles, and they are running so fast. At the end of the day, if you sustain injuries there, you'll be the first person to face the challenges of that injury before anybody else talk about your safety. So you have to all the time bear in mind that your personal security is very important. So people need to exercise that decorum also. And then hate speech also, you know. During the course of the campaign and all that, people need to be careful what they say to each other, you know. Even though we are on campaign and it is such that we are all talking about what we can do and all this, but let's do it in a manner and way that we don't offend other people in the process, or we don't insult other people in the process. And so the Gambia is known for peaceful elections, and I hope and pray that this other election too, we will go into it in peace, and we'll go out of it in peace and harmony as well.
Mr. Njai, I hope you are able to at least train your security personnel not to associate themselves with political parties, maybe using their flags or using their anything that has to do with the political party?
Very well. From the beginning, we have been also monitoring and as well working hard to ensure that our officers operate within the parameters of impartiality and neutrality, because the police is supposed to be some kind of referees kind of role, definitely, to ensure that each person plays by the rules. So it will be very ironic for police officers themselves to be affiliated with political parties or political ideologies openly, for that matter. And so this we have been doing internally, and we have been monitoring. Even online, we know police officers also are present online and they express opinions here and there. And even that, we are ensuring that we monitor our officers and we ensure that they are always reminded the fact that they are supposed to be neutral at all times. In certain instances, certain police officers have been disciplined, in fact, for such kind of conduct, and so these are something that we are definitely concerned about and we are constantly monitoring.
Thank you. Eso?
Yes, during the nomination, Piero, I saw officers from other sister forces. How are you working with them?
Very well. The security is such that I have always said it's some form of collective responsibility. All the securities in the Gambia, for some reason, we have one main objective, and that is to ensure that the Gambia is peaceful. And so therefore, when operations come, we collectively join together to do these operations. And so the same thing applies when the registration, voter registration was going on. You can see that there are officers, some polling stations, some registration centers, you find immigration officers or the fire and rescue service or the prisons and so on and so forth. So the same thing applies when we put up an operational order. We usually will have a manpower requirement for that operational order. And so if the operational order manpower requirement is not all within the police force, then we'll usually get other sister services to contribute to the manpower, and then we will get the manpower required for the operation order, and then that's the most important. Whether they are immigration officers or prison officers or fire and rescue, as long as they are security personnel, they are working towards the same objective as far as the operational order is concerned.
Interesting.
Well,
you work with
exactly, that's what I was
local
about
language,
to say.
because come election la te ñepp a si bokka. Mr. Ndiaye dañ bëggoon rek nga wax ñu lan ngeen teg yeen sécurité bi pour préparer élection yi jaama mëna dal ndaxte élection yi dañoo romba te su rombé rek dafa mel ni ñun rek ñooy dëkkaat ci dëkk bi fii loo am pour wax gaay.
dëgg la dafa comme ni ma ko nekkoon di wax rek si suñ level at Gambia Police Force ñu ngi amee ay pexe operational plan boo xam ne ñu ngi ko teg balaa élection bi si biir élection bi ak si élection bi weesoo su ko defee nag loolu ñu ngi ko doon def di jàngale police officer yi ñoo xam ne ñooy war a responsible security si élection bi loolu def nañ ko woon waaye élection bi tamit buñ ko commencé si nomination bi tamit ñu ngi nekk di provide security pour gis ne nomination exercise bi yëpp def nañ ko si jaamate yàlla def na loolu am nañ ko léegi si campagne leen nekk te liñ def sax mooy parti bu nekk buy dem campagne jox nañ leen ay security personnel from the police boo xam ne ñoom ñoo nekk di responsible seen security fu ñu dem si meeting yi su ko defee nag loolu tamit mu ngi dem léegi benn semaine passé na te amuñ fa ay texe-texe so loolu ñu ngi ñaan loolu mu continuer noonu tamit ba campagne bi jeex su ko defee nag élection ba si élection bi tamit polling station yi fu ñoo wootee tamit fu nekk dañ faa def ay security pour ñu mun a gis ne jaama am na waaye li am solo tamit mooy waxtaan ak askan wi pour ñu xam ne ñoom tamit am nañ si wàlla ak matuwaay boo am solo su ko defee di nga gis ne sécurité nuñ munta def seen liggéey su nit yi su leen jàppale wut dina dafa jafe trop pour ñu seen liggéey bi ñu mun a sooti su ko defee nag loolu moo tax ñu ngi ñaan si askan wi élection bi mu ngi am fu nekk campagne kat yi political party yi ñu ngi ñëw foofu di campagne foofu noonu liñ ñaan si nit yi mooy benn trafic bi gis nañ ay nit yoo xam ne suñoo nekk si biir campagne ñu xam ne dañ lay kontaan trop moo tax waaye da ngaa gis ñoo xam ne day toog si kaw boppi moto yi wala si bunti moto yi di langalu foofu noonu loolu yëpp dafa dangerous mun nga am foofu accident nga am si loraange su ko defee dañ war a bàyyi seen xel torop si loolu secondly dañoo gis tamit hate speech mooy wax yu bon yi nii soo nekkee si biir campagne bi nii nga xam ne yar ak teggin lañ ko war a yóbbee te su ko defee nag ñu respectante pour ñu gis ne lu ñoo wax si campagne bi yëpp ngiri réew mi la su ko defee jarul ngay saaga nit wala di joxoñ keneen so pour ñu mun koo def si jaama loolu ñu ngi koo bàyyee nit ki thirdly tamit li am solo mooy pour nit yi nañ déggoo ak sécurité su ñoo liggéey suñ ne leen em leen fii bu leen gis ne waaw ñii xamal ñu ngi fii di ñu gétteen waaye na ngeen em foofu noonu li tax mooy pour seen meeting bi ngeen mun koo def si jaama su ko defee mu jeex si jaama loolu nag askan wi bugga neen ñu jàppale sécurité yi si loolu torop
waaw gis nga comme respect bi sax wax nga ko lu am solo la comme man ak PRO ñu ngi support different parties ku nekk dafa war a respect sa morom mun na ñoo waxtaan ñu gis suñ gis-gis waaye nag amen respect bi dafa war a nekk eso du noonu
waaw loolu am na solo trop te foog naa PRO li mu wax leer na ñëpp dégg nañ ko di ñaax ñëpp ñu fee daal loo xam ne ñu ngi ko def ci jamono ji rawatina si time élection mu nekk loo xam ne daal ñu def ko ci jàmm élection yi passé si jàmm ñu continuer dëkk ci jàmm PRO laajoon naa li ci anglais dinaa la ko laajaat gis naa ci time nomination bi ñeneen ñi nga xamante ne ñu ngi fa ñu ngi si sécurité bi tamit waaye nekkuñu ay police ci mel ni immigration prison ak yooyu naka ngeen nekk di liggéey tamit ak ñooñu
so am na solo trop pour nga laajaat lii tamit parce que dafa mel ni sax ñeneen ñi dañ dee wax waaye yow doo police lu tax nga nekk fi di ma wax waaw loolu daf dee xew waaye am na solo pour ñu leeral ne sécurité yëpp si réew mi benn iine lañ am mooy gis ne jaama am na si dëkk bi loolu moo tax su façon opération yi jotee dañ dee mun a am xam ñaata manpower lañ nit mooy ne ñaata sécurité personnel lañ soxla pour ñu gis ne opération plan bi sotti na su ko defee nag suñ ko amul si biir police dañ dee mun a am ay nit ñu jógee immigration ñu jógee fire service ñu jógee prison ñu boole leen su ko defee nag di nga gis ne ñooñu ñëpp dañoo jàppale gis ne jaama am na so su ñoo def liggéey boobu noonu yow it da nga foog ne immigration officer dafa war a nekk si passport center bi wala ID card center bi waaye nga gis ko mu ngi ensure sécurité am na bu ko wax ne yow doo police xam ne liggéey bi loolu la moo def nga respect ko comme ni police soo koy respect ni nga ko mën a respecté so ñu ngi ñaan askan wi pour ñu bàyyi seen xel si yooyu rek liggéey bi yëpp benn la mooy gis ne jaama am na si réew
waaw ok mu ngi mel ni PRO thank you very much for joining us on this morning and at least giving us some of the things that you people are doing. I mean,
it's part of the family.
Yes, it's important. And of course, and we're saying big thanks to all our security personnel. We respect your work. Keep it up. Thank you very much. We'll take a short break. After the break, we'll have what we call social issues. And we have Ibu Jangha in the studio with us. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
Join the Gambia's fastest growing network and enjoy high-speed 4G LTE. Dial *335# to subscribe to QCell's 4G LTE service. There's no need to swap your SIM. QCell, senior boss. We innovate, others follow.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now you can buy cash power with your QMoney account free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free. Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services QMoney has to offer. With QMoney, life is easy. Visit your nearest QMoney agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply. Want more in your bundle? At QCell, the biggest, fastest, and most reliable mobile operator, we've got you covered with Sunyu Bundle. With Sunyu Bundle, dial *303# and get the bundle of your choice. Sunyu Bundle, affordable, fast, and reliable. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your Cash Power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With the touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522 222 353 2222.
I am the light goddess. Everything I touch turns into light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q-Power. I am QCell. I am Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
Join the Gambia's fastest growing network and enjoy high-speed 4G LTE. Dial *335# to subscribe to QCell's 4G LTE service. There's no need to swap your SIM. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow.
It all began in 1943 when a 22-year-old young and energetic Ibu Jangha was forcefully conscripted into one of 2 Gambian regiments to help bolster Britain's war efforts during World War II in Burma, modern-day Myanmar. He was chosen by the chief of his native village, Buyam, due to his stocky frame and stubbornness. He was one of 1,350 young Gambian men who fought for 2 years in the jungles and on the hilltops of Burma. On many occasions, he faced death, survived ambushes, and sustained life-threatening injuries to his stomach and leg. The Gambian contingent lost 127 soldiers during the torrid months of February to April 1944. But as fate would have it, Jangha was one of the lucky few to return home alive in January of 1946, following the end of the war in December 1945. With only his scars to show for his sacrifice, at 102 years old, Ibu Jangha remains the only surviving veteran of one Gambia regiment which fought for the British against Japanese troops during that Burma campaign. Join us as we celebrate the remarkable life of a true warrior, a survivor, and historic figure.
Welcome back after that break, and of course that video, Eso Nyasi, that's a very interesting piece. I mean, you did a very good job on that one.
Thanks to Mr. Ade and Francis as well. But I mean, his story is I mean, incredible, and I think we spoke about him day before yesterday and even yesterday, and we're happy to say we have him in the studio.
Exactly. And it's just going to be a big salute to all our fallen heroes, to those that went to the World War and could not make it home. And a big salute to Ibu Jangha himself in the studio with us. Ñu ngi leen a dalal si studio bi di leen dal leen si jàmm. Ma bàyyi Eso rek moom mu.
So he's here with the daughter who is going to help us talk to him as he's lost his hearing now. He's 102 years old. But again, like I said yesterday, we're happy to still have him around. Yawo ñu ngi laa nuyu di la dalal fii ci QTV.
Jërëjëf maa ngi leen a delloo nuyoo bi.
Fàttali ñu tur bi.
Man maa ngi tudd Maam Tuuti.
Maam Tuuti Jangha.
Jangha.
Okay.
Biir Kaama Jida.
Yow doom nga ci suñu maam bi paa bi. Wax ñu tuddi ci moom.
Ibu Jangha la tudda sant Ibu la tudda sant Jangha.
Waaw.
Fi mu nekk nii dafa tiga. Gold and silver smith la biir Kaama. Waaw waaye gërëm naa ko te maa ngi ko ndamoo. Parce que ba tey fi mu nekk nii mu ngi xëy di dem di wàcca di ñëw. Man mi doomam bu jigéen bi ñaari doom yu jigéen la am amul doom bu góor waaye man mi doomam bu jigéen amewuma enam xanaa añ bi ma ko dee toogal ak reer bi waaye gàcce nga laama sigil nañu sigil Gambia waaw
dañ bëggoon rek ñu waxtaan tuuti soo gisee tey ñu invite leen fii dafa am sa papa lu mu def si àddina bi fii àddina bi yëpp gis ko te kontaan si tey bu nekkoon fukka si ñu nekk jàmbaar si àddina bi bokk na si fukka yooyu noonu waaw mun naa am seen time xale daf leen doon waxtaanal naka la World War bi meloon buñ leen fi jëlee yóbbu leen mun nga ñu si wax tuuti
waaw xam nga gannaaw yàlla noppaami foofu la ko jëlee si woo bi la ko jëlee dafa ñëw moom léegi si li ma jota am si moom mu ne ñu ngi fi jógee 1943 to Nigeria. From Nigeria to Burma. Waaw léegi ñu ñëpp si 1946. waaye mu ne xare bu tàng la woon. parce que ñoom seen team bi ñoom seet ñoo ñëw. mu ne biñ àggee before ñuy laan sax lañ commencé firing bi. léegi si jongul lañ nekkoon di struggle rek enough nelaw moom duñ ko dee am. mu ne waaye benn am na ci loo xam ne. loolu mu ngi ko ndamoo parce que Japanese lañ dee wax ne Gambian sot xama small but hot. waaw loolu daf ma ko dee wax. waaye nelaw nag mu ne amu ci si lañ nekk si xeex boobu noonu ba yàlla ñoo def mu déggaat grenade. si la gël ni gaañu yi ñoo wone nii ak noppam bi. waaw étonnoon na ko trop nag. waaw si waxam.
Eso loolu daw na yaram trop.
soo xoolee jaar-jaaram moom yàlla wërsëgal na ko
waaw mun nañoo
waaw yàlla ursegal na ko mu nekk kenn si ñi nga xamante ne ba tey ñu ngi dunda te ñim àndal ñëpp ay junne nit la tey yàlla def nañu ñëpp kenn nekkatu di dunda moom ba tey yàlla def ñu am ko fi ba léegi yéen mi nga xamante ne yéen a nekk famille am tamit su ngeen gëstoo moom jaar-jaaram xool li ko yàlla may ci fan
I'll just intervene. We'll take a short break, and after the break, we'll be back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mobile service has done it again. Now you can buy cash power with your Q-Money account free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free. Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services Q-Money has to offer. With Q-Money, life is easy. Visit your nearest Q-Money agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. Q-Money, Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back after that short break. Q-Money Sunyu Kalpe. And we are back again in the studio. Interesting. I'm not sure loo doon waxtaan issue.
waaw ñuy jégal si docteur boobu noonu waaye li ma doon laajte rek mooy su ngeen gëstoo tey jaar-jaaram xool li ko yàlla may ci fan ñi nga xam ne la àndal dem foofu mu dinañ ay daanaka benn junni ak lu tegal
bari nañ
ci ay Gambien yàlla def tey moom rek moo nekk ay dunda ci ñooñu yéen mi nga xamante ne yéen nekk ay njabootam tey loolu lan la miin ci yéen naka ngeen ko dee gisee
xanaa di ko ndamoo ñu ngi ko ndamoo nag assez week bi ñu jógee nii bi nekk nii from Sunday to date sant nañ yàlla bu baax ñu ngi kontaan first time xamuñ woon li ñu yàlla jox ñun mi njabootam waaye fi mu nekk nii sant yàlla bu baax a baax a baax a baax ñëpp ak maa kool di ma congratulate ne xamuñ lim doonoon xam nga ñu bare koo gis waaye xamuñ ko ba léegi lañ ko door a xam
waaw mu dem si World War bi dellu si nekk jàmbaar bu mag moom bu mu dellu see ba léegi naka la dëkkee loolu lañ bugg a xam dañ bugg a xam because comme ñii nit yi nga xam ne dañ leen war a ndamoo nit yi nga xam ne dañ leen war a saa su ne lu ñoo ooyee suñ ay hero tey soo waxee Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara wax nga Sir Faraman Singate foog nga wax Ibu Jangha waaw léegi wax ma tuuti si dundinam depuis bu mu ñëwee
waaw dëgga nag dundin bu jafe la doon di def balaa ñoo mag ñun parce que ñaari doom yu jigéen rek la am te nga xam jigéen doole jigéen taxu ko rëy bu baax léegi ñu nekk fa man maa moom ak suma raka ak suma yaay waaye suma yaay ñoo gaañu nag léegi mu des fa man maa suma raka ak moom daf dee xëy di dem si mbaar mi si la ñu dee jox dépasse ñu tooga si la ñoo dundee daal suñ soxla yi daal si lañ koo defee gannaaw yàlla suñ but si kawam la tegu ñun waaw depuis biñ nekkee xale
naka jàppale comme ñëw na jógee na xeex ñëw na maanaam xam nga réewi Angleterre moo leen yóbbu woon dem nañ foofu noonu ndax ñu koy jàppale
fàttaleku ma ko de man ci suma fàttaleku xanaa commencé ko 2019 ñëw time corona bi noonu waaw te bubu tamit force bi 10,000 lañ ko jox after ñu ñoo joxaat ko 10,000 ñu ñoo joxaat ko 13,000 lastly mu ne less than 20,000 waaye wanuma xaalis noonu la ma ko waxee mu ne ma mutut ñaar fukki junne mu ne ma manqué na ñaar fukki junne waaye xaalis bi gis wanul ma ko de noonu la ma ko waxee
bu gën a xam tamit ndax xamal nga ñu ne bi mu demee ci woo bi ba mu ñëwaat fa la jëlee am na jëlee na fa ay gaañu yàlla defi tamit fi mu nekk duy dégga naka ngeen dee communiquer ak moom ndax xam naa ne jamono bi moo ñëw ak léegi ak yéen bi ngeen nekk ay xale ba mag naka ngeen dee manager pour communiquer ak moom fi mu nekk
man dama juddu fekk ko ni suma raka tamit juddu fekk ko ni léegi dama fekkee suma di wax moom noonu la ñu traîner ñuy wax moom noonu di wax moom noonu bañ miin ko waaw waaye fi mu nekk nag pour wax moom problème la xam nga sa gémmiñ ngi la dee seet
ok
li nga wax foofu la ko dee understandé waaye nekkul ne noppay moom duy dégg dara léegi fi mu nekk bu di baa neexuñ bu baax léegi pour wax moom sax pour mu dégg la mbaate moo understand la problème la dee nekk guddi moom doo ko dee try sax
dafa mel ni bët yaa ngi xaw a bañ
waaw bët mu ngi mag na léegi
waaw
bët yaa ngi bañ
waaw demoon ngeen pour waxtaan ak maybe ñi nga xam ne bokka nañ ci ñu mel ni nguur gi pour ñu jàppale ndaxte gis nañ ne bu mu ñëwee yàgg na
torop
ba pare foog naa ne waruñ koo bàyyee noonu trayoon ngeen ay bunta pour nuñ koo jàppale pour dundaam mun a yomba
déedéet gannaaw yàlla tey soo gisee mbiram feeñ ni sax association biñ foom nii Second World War Veterans waaw biñ ko foomee noonu dañ ñoom wax ma ko léegi boole maa nit ma dem si kooku mu registré ma waaye nag ñoom itam maa ngi leen naan gàcce ngalaama tey soo gisee àdduna bi dégg Ibu Jangha gannaaw yàlla ñoom la waaw parce que man mënuma def dara benn ki kum demaloon kooku ko doon de dimbale Sajin Banta Tunkara kooku biir Kaama la nekkoon moo ko doon def nag tuuti moo ko dee ànd ba mu am si documents yu bëri documents am waaye nag soo lokkalee xam nga daf dee liggéey si mbaar mi bagage am si baag bi la ko dee def saa ca yóbbu loolu waaw ak médalam yu bëri comme bagage am yu bëri yi desoon si kër gi rek la dese waaye gannaaw yàlla tey soo gisee nit ñi mun koo xam àdduna bi xam ko Second World War Veterans waaw association bi
dafa daw yaram torop soo seetee comme yeneen dëkki tubaab yi nga seet dëkki Chinese yi da ngaa gis ne comme seen jàmbaar yi dañ leen a defaral statue Westfield comme lu mel ni Westfield dem feneen defar li nga xam ne saa su ne even xale bu judduut sa su juddoo dafa ñëw mu gis kii mooy Ibu Jangha kii la gaay dee wax ñu riid affaire am foofu noonu dinañ xam kii mooy kan
bëggoon naa ñëw foofu xam nga bu yàggul bi ñoo door sax waxoon nga ne ñi mel ni moom dañ leen war a ndamoo naam ne dëgg la ñu ne ñu ngi si def sañ wàlla invite ko fii si télé bi wax jaar-jaaram wax affaire am bundu tasekaay xibaar yi gën a am doole ci àdduna bi ñu ngi bind affaire am ak yu demee noonu waaye foog naa li Balde wax tamit am na solo yéen mi nga xamante ne tey yéen a nekk ay njabootam ndax foog leen lu mel noonu tamit war naa mun a am nga xam ne turam du mu sa réer ci réew mi wala ci àdduna ndax lim defal àdduna lim defal Gambia.
loolu de léegi man tam séntu naa ko ne turam du réerati waaw parce que tubaab bi ko publish moo ñëw si workshop bi after Alpha suñ PRO bi kool ma ne ma nga ñëw si mbaana dafa am ko bugg a interview paa bi parce que liñ dee mën a wax ak moom léegi si laa ñëw fekka leen fa tubaab bi journaliste ñu ko William léegi nag kooku interview ko di follow 2 days after mu ñëw commencé di sut ñu dem ba ci kër gi mu nataal seet fi mu dëkka mu sut yooyu yëpp léegi après suñ match pass bi laa ko ñëw gis Al Jazeera waaye si laa am yaakaar ne fi mu nekk bu njëkk bi xëj na mun naa am nubbu na waaye fi mu nekk du nubbu waaye feeñ na fi mu nekk
no war nañoo
waaye fii ci biir réew mi tamit war nañoo mun a am li nga xamante ne ci turam la moo nekk
bu nekkee yoon la sax
faw moo xam ndax koñ lañ ko tuddee moo xam ndax yoon la moo xam ndax bërëb bi jàngeekaay la moo xam lu mu munti doon nga xam ne nit ñi dañ ko buddi fàttale ko di si jàngay tamit ba pare tamit di bàyyi xel moom jaar-jaaram foog loolu mel noonu war naa mun a am
lu léegi des na si nguuri Gambia bi waaw léegi ñoom ñoo war a ekkati mbiram ñoo ko war a wàccee parce que lii ndam la si réew waaw lii réew bu ko am danga ko war a ndam
ba pare ñu ngi képp ku nga xam ne yaa ngi ñoo seetaan bu nekkee ne mun nga ko nga jàppale ndaxte kii life am la jaay pour mu dem si biti gis naa ñu ngi def benn nataalam si National Museum bi strong man la woon gis naa ko mu ngi sol uniforme am mu ngi nice ba ma laajte man bi ma ne ko kii mooy kan mu ne ma kii mooy Ibu Jangha fekka young man la gis naa ne jàmbaar la war nañ ko
xam nga soo gëstoo story am dañ laa woon ne ku taxawaayam dafa strong on trop te ku dëgëroon bopp la woon tamit jamono boobu te bi moo dem dafa mel ni dañ ko forcé yóbbu nekku ne rek daf ko neex mu jóg dem dañ ko forcé yóbbu waaye yàlla dimbale na ko mu del si waat te soo gisee ñi doon gën a bantuwaat lii di ko dëgëral ñi nga xamante ne la demal lu ëpp junne Gambien lañ fa yóbbu moom moo nekk di only person moom rek a nekk di dunda tey ci jamono ji moom rek moo nekk di dunda ci ñooñu moo doon 1000 nit moom rek a nekk di dunda yàlla def na am na 100 ak ñaari at kon ku mel ni moom mooy li ma doon wax ci gannaaw turam warut a mun a réer ci réew mi ba faw te foog naa loolu baax na ñu
waaye foog naa ñi nga xam ne ñoo amee loolu yoon boobu ñu ngi ñoo seetaan te gis nañ ko te xam nañ ne Ibu Jangha mu ngi fii te mu ngi dunda war nañu jóg ñu jàppale ko bu nekkee affaire yi jàppale la yéen loo leen gën a soxla fu mu nekk nii
ndegem fi mu nekk nii soo xalaatee 102 years mag mu ngi xëy di liggéey di ñëw te daf dee taxi lañ dee xaaya war bu set kenn mënu koo taaj si kër gi
ba léegi dafa dem si workshop
démb sa dem na dañoo fay taxi mu dem si suba si su 6 jotee driver bi indiwaat ko léegi moom lim gën a bugg a si dundaam man li ma gis mooy moto
pour mu am moto
waaw boo xam ne
bu ko yóbbu indi ko
waaw
dégg ngeen loolu
waaw loolu de problème
loolu de dem si workshop bi liggéeyam dellu si waat
waaw
xam nga Balde keroog toog naa fi
xam nga li ma leen wax ma ne yow li nga gën a bugga li nga gën a bugga waaw moto waaw
dégg ngeen ko si boppam dégg ngeen Ibu Jangha suñ woo vétéran bi
waaw
mu ne moto la soxla
moto nga soxla
moto la soxla
dem liggéey di ñëw
waaw kon ñu ne leen képp ku nga xam ne yaa ngi seetaan Ibu Jangha suñ woo vétéran bi mu ne moto la soxla ngeen jàppale ko ndaxte tey eso waaw eso tey soo seetee bu nekkee keneen la munoon naa toog si kër bi mu ne màgget naa
baax nañu fàttaliwaat ñu ñëw seetaan lii ne téeméer ak benn at la am 102 years la am ba tey mu ngi daani dooleem toogut xam nga bu doon kenn la tey ñoo xam ne am nañ ijam moo xam ndax ñu ngi saraxtu wala ñu ngi toog benn place waaye moom toogul ba tey mu ngi liggéey te soo xoolee jaar-jaaram dem na woo ci xare bi booma nga xam ne ñu bëri ñàkk nañ fa seen bakkan wax na la fa bu yàggut loppa juney nit moom ba tey ñib si na jëlee na fa ay gaañu-gaañu yàlla def na duy dégga sax fi mu nekk na dafa déggaatoon grenade waaye ba tey mu nga xëy di liggéey bés bu nekk te fi mu nekk nag daf ñu sas ñun ñëpp mu ne
Gambia la sas
ba tey bugg da toog
waaw
di xëy di dem liggéey di ñëwaat
waaw suñ jàmbaar bi mu ne moto la soxla kon am na solo lool ñu jàppale ko si moto pour muy dem ba pare ñu seet lu ko dimbali tam xam nga moto
du moto
soo
rek
ko amee foog nga fuel ko
waaye yombal dundam tamit
waaw soo ko da nga koo fuel ba pare tam dunda bi dégg nga sista bi mu ne ñaari doom yu jigéen rek la am te doom yu jigéen yi ñu ne ñoom kii jàppale na leen jooyuñ ci dara moo leen responsible soo gis naa ne loolu lu am solo la kon ñu ngi oo nit ñi yëpp ñu jàppale kii moom rek moo nekk ki dunda si ñi nga xam ne ñoo demoon second world war bi ñu àndaloon ñëpp a dee ba mu des moom soo moom mu ngi fii nañ ko jàppale xam nga
lu ëpp 1000
li nga xam ne esoo ñun dañ ko war a bàyyi doo célébrer borom ba bés bu mu fi nekkul nga start di ko def si ay nataal oo di bind affaire am di wane ne jàmbaar la loolu amul benn njëriñ
xam nga lu tax ñuy emphasize lii du ne dañoo utal nit xaalis wala leneen lu ëpp junne nit ci ay doomi réew Gambia ñoo demoon si woo boobu noonu yaa def ñu bay si ñoom am na ñoo xam ne ñëpp si nañ bu ñëwee jàppale wuñu leen ci benn boor defaluñu leen dara ba yàlla jëlee leen fi moom rek nag moo nekk di dunda te li ma ci gën a yéem man mooy ba tey mu ngi xëy di daan dooleem kon kooku ñun dañ ko war a célébrer dañ ko war a jàppale yombalal ko dundaam buñ ko defee daf ñu war buñ ko deful daf ñu
war
ndax at 102 years
waaw fu mu nekk nii
day xëy di dem di ñëw
fu mu nekk nii
foog ma ne gis naa ko
man nu ma ko gisee Gambia moo ko amel
waaw
Gambia moo ameel Ibu Jangha weda fay nañ ko fayuñ ko ñun ñoo ko war a fay kon am na solo lool xam naa ne fu mu ne ban boor si Brikama ngeen dëkka
Brikama
Jida
waaw
ok mbaa Ibu Jangha moom am na QCell line
so amul QCell line sax dina ko utal QCell line
kër gi fa use QCell
dina ko utal QCell line so amul QCell line sax moom dina ko utal QCell line
këri boppam lañ nekk
këri boppam
great
dégg naa si këri boppam la nekk
këri boppam la nekk
loolu jàmbaar
mu fa sañca ñun ñu ko toxu 1971
moo laa dimbale ndeysaan
waaw si këram
macha allah loolu sant yàlla la xam naa ne dañoo joxe nomba bi nga xam ne QCell la pour ñu joxe ko képp ku nga xam ne bëgg naa call pour jàppale
wala nga ñëw fii si QTV
wala nga ñëw QTV soo ñëwee QTV soo gisee news department bi soo ñëwee nga ne Adé Dramé news department dañ laa jàppale soo gisee Ansumana Eso Ñaasi ñun dañ laa direct soo gisee Jibril dañ laa direct soo ñëwee si man sax na yàlla direct pour nga dem nga gisee famille bi loolu yëpp am na solo dañ bëggoon rek ngeen wax ñu loole naa tàggatoo ci programme bi
xanaa kontaante ndegem àdduna bi fak ñoo seetaante ñun moom kay di siya moom kay suñu at la ñun ñoo ko moom waaw ñu ngi ko ndam moo di ko xaajaane
bor la dañ ko war a fay
man su suma bopp maa ngi ko tiitaroo waaw mun naa am ñu bëri maa ngi tasee ñoom xëy na ñoom a gën a am classe waaye maa leen gën a nekk doomi jàmbaar man mi suma bàyyi dem xeexal Gambia ñëw di ko ndamoo amu ci dara ba tey lim ci am moo less than 50,000 sax am xaaju ko sax waaye ba tey mu ngee dem di ñëw kon nag ñun ñu amuñ ñu ngee ndamoo suñu bàyyi ji
loolu jar na ndamoo
waaw loolu
kontaan
ñu ko
nañ ci
ndamoo
trop
waaw
Eso I think léegi ñëw nañ ci end of the programme
ñu ngi rafetlu seen teewaay fii
waaw
di sentu ne dinañ gën a am jotaay yu mel nii di ñaan tamit yal na ko fi yàlla yàggal
amiin
yokk a wér waaw bàyyi ñu fi ñun ñëpp te foog naa mooy li Balde wax boor la biñ ko amel te xam naa ñi nga xamante ne ñoo nekk di seetaan rawatina soppe QTV di ñaax ñëpp seet nuñ koo jàppale gis ne tamit nguur la woo man la yow keneen ak ku munti doon fexe ba gis na turam du mus a réer ci réew mi ndax jàmbaar la jàmbaayi Gambia la te dañ ko war a defal neen ko daf ñu war defaluñ ko daf ñu war ñu leen naa jaajëfal bu baax a baax ci li ngeen ñu uyu si mooy di wax rek di ñaan yàlla ñu amaat
man tam maa ngi gërëm Second World War veterans commencé ko sa PRO bi ba last number di leen a gërëm di leen a santa te soo gisee li yëpp di am gannaaw yàlla ñoom ñoo ko waral kon nag maa ngi leen a gërëm di leen a santa di ñaan suñ mbootaay bi yàlla yàggal ko ñu dem si kanam si kaw si darajaay Seydina Muhammad yàlla may ñun dam ñu toog ba am suñ dam li dañoo yóotu
jërëjëf thank you very much viewers for watching this is all we have for you on this edition and hope to be back here on Monday again for another edition.
I mean, just before we leave, I mean, most of our discussion have been done in Wolof, in the local language. Just briefly, I just want us to, remind our viewers that Ibu Jangha is 102 years old, and he's the only surviving World War II veteran we have in this country. Over 1,000 Gambians took part in that war, and he's the only surviving veteran. And despite his age, he's still working. He has a small workshop where he works, and he's still the one feeding his family. And we've heard from the daughter, and even from Ibu Jangha himself, all that he wants is...
It's a vehicle.
Yes, he wants, easy mobility.
That can help him ply the distance.
To be able to move from his house to his workshop. He wants to keep working. He does not want to rely on anybody. And if anything, I think he's a man we should all celebrate. He's a man we should all support. And I think that's important. And anyone who, wants to support him, you can come to QTV. We'll try to reach out, call us, come here, send an email, and we would make sure he gets it, or you even get to see him, inshallah.
All right. Thank you very much, Eso Nyasi. Viewers, be reminded this program is officially sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions, and this is the end of this week's edition. Until Monday, see you. Bye.
yelloo na ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wér-gu-yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxool ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wér gu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo GAC granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sellate óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wér gu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu